Hi everyone. Welcome to the first day of the Golden Quill Month. I hope you can all hear me. It should. The sound should go through. Please let me know if you can't hear me for some reason. In that case, I will have to adjust things. Artist, thanks for letting me know that you can hear me. Perfect. So welcome wordsmiths and creator of worlds. This month is not only a month for counting the words that you write, but the Golden Quill Month goes way further. We look at every process of, or every part of your process, for reaching your final goal, being your book. Hi Fee, hello, great to see you here as well. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're doing great as well. So like I said, the Golden Quill Month is a month where we look at every part of the process. So it's writing in your manuscript, but it's also world building, story development, character development. So there are a lot of things that you can focus on instead of only the word count in your manuscript. So we welcome you all to work on that this month, and leave your goals in the chat or in the community tab. I've made a special post there, or you can join our Discord, of course, to talk about your goals and to get help where you need it, and to talk about the hurdles that you are experiencing this month, or otherwise besides the month after the month is over, because we continue afterwards. And of course, in the month of December, it's a month full of holidays, with Christmas and New Year's Eve and things like that. And here in the Netherlands, we also have Sinterklaas. So there are a lot of holidays then. So we decided to continue again in January with the next Golden Quill Month event. But first, let's do this one. What we will do today is one writing sprint, and after that I will do let me rephrase that. I will work on my map for the kingdom of Silk and Bamboo. That is one of the many kingdoms in Tergaenae, and I found that although I made a sketch of that, I really need to rework that sketch because, as it turned out, I made it upside down, so that's not handy. And there were several other things that I did not include yet, which I still need to include. So that is for later this live stream. Like I said earlier in the intro video about the Golden Quill Month, is that these live streams will be a max of around 1 hour, which is because I suffer from post-COVID, and being concentrated for such a long time is quite hard for me. So we'll see how it goes. It is one of the reasons why I do both writing and map making this live stream, because otherwise it will be way too much for me to be able to focus on one thing the entire hour. So let's start with the first writing sprint, if you're all up to it. Also, before I forget, if you have a question, please put the word question first in your comments, because otherwise I might miss it. So questions or whatever, just put a question in the comment, and then the rest of your comment, and then I will be able to recognize it. So I wish you all a lot of fun with our first writing sprint, with our only writing sprint, I should say. Feel free to do something else later on. But let's start our writing sprint of 25 minutes. Let me see if I remember how to do this well. Yes, I wish you all a lot of fun writing. that is the end of our first writing sprint. That is the end of our first writing sprint. How did it go for you all? I experienced that it's not that easy to write at the moment. But I did manage to write 350 words, so it's not that bad, but it's also not going as I expected. Let me put it that way. Perhaps later on I will change some things around, and I might even scratch this whole part, but I'll see about it. That's going to be I don't know, interesting, shall we say. And I see that I'm still not quite used to doing live streams again. But okay, you know what? That's okay. I'm getting back into it very slowly. So yeah, I started with a chapter of Naja. I've been working on things that will happen that are happening with her, and well, what shall I say about it? It's not an easy chapter, or at least the beginning isn't easy. It isn't quite what I expected it to be. But you know what? It's the release of the Turtles, the official Turtle release day, the final Turtle release day of the year in Tergaenae, or at least in the kingdom of the Silk and Bamboo, which is an archipelago kingdom. And I guess I still need to work out some kinks to get this story really going. I had some things in mind, and at the moment it doesn't quite work for me, so I guess I will have to change that later on, and I'll see how that goes. With this chapter, I originally thought I would start the main series completely different from how I'm starting it now. And there's a huge difference between what I originally, way back when, years ago, when I started with this series, what I had in mind, and it has grown so much over the years. And this Turtle release day is a very important day for Naja. Not only because as one of the royals she leads this day, but also because a lot will change afterwards for her. So this is truly a day that is something like saying goodbye to things. So we'll see how that goes in the future. Fifi, you say it went faster than you thought. Oh, okay, that's good. You managed to read through and rearrange some chapters in your Scrivener file. Ah, that's excellent. That's great. I'm working in Scrivener as well. It's ever since I started working with Scrivener, I didn't really go to any other program anymore. Sure, I might read in Google Docs just to make some notes, or in Word if I don't have a laptop with Scrivener with me. But otherwise, I will just work with Scrivener. That's good. And Fifi, you say you mark out gaps that you need to fill. Yeah, see, that's the good thing with a process like this. You can just write whatever you want in any order that you want, and later see where your gaps are that you need to fill. And I like that, that everyone has his or her own writing process. Because for me, I tend to write really chronological, but every now and then I also have scenes that are way later in the book or in the series even, and then I just set it aside. I write the scene and I set it aside, and I'll see if I will use it in the future or not, or if I will use it as something like a God, what's the English word? I can't get it right now. I don't remember it. That's my COVID brain. Sorry, guys. Where someone is looking back and remembering something. So it's not always necessary to have the entire scene in the book. But I'll see about that. I don't know yet. I will see how everything goes. My apologies. So, yeah, it's one of the fun things, I think. Being able to notice where you have gaps and where how you can fix them, or at least make notes about your ideas about how to fix it. That's the beauty of our writing processes, and each author has his or her own writing process, and that is so beautiful to see, I think. Okay, so I promised you guys that I would also that I would also show you something of my map. So that is what I will do next. And Fia, say you're scared sometimes with stories with multiple storylines like yours that the readers will get lost. I can imagine that. I have multiple characters, and there are sort of multiple storylines, and in the end it will all get together, but that is way later on. That is not in the beginning, and it's indeed hard to make sure that your readers will not get lost. The way I plan to do it, I have no idea yet if it will work. I hope it works. Is to, at the end of each chapter, is to see if I can make a bridge to the next character in one way or the other, so that it is clear that I am moving on to my next reader, or to my next character, and in that way I hope that the reader will understand that and will be able to track that. Because when you move to another character in another part of your world, it means that a new storyline starts, or the storyline that you already had somewhere is continuing, and people need to be able to pick that up. It's not easy. It's not easy. I can totally understand that. So let me get something to drink. And Tish, is this something you have experience with as well? Seeing if you have multiple storylines in your cozy mysteries, and if you do, how do you solve it? I'm interested to hearing that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take my map and I need my pencil, and I somehow misplaced that, so I need to look for that. One moment, my apologies. Yes, I found it. So it's a bit easier to draw when you actually have a pencil with you. Okay, so I promised you guys that I would do some drawing. I mean, don't mind my drawing skills because I'm really bad at that. And I would also tell you guys something about the lore of this kingdom. So let me grab my papers. And right, so we've got the papers. And this is the original map. I will set a timer for you guys. If you want to do something else, feel free to just only listen to what I'm saying, or maybe not. Just turn off the sound. I will not be continuing writing, maybe later on, but right now I feel that I have too many problems with it. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me right now. Catching the chat. If you say, yeah, it's a good point, and you've started doing that too, yeah, I hope that really works, because I've been struggling with that as well, how to make sure that readers will still find their way through the story, especially with multiple point of views, multiple storylines, and things coming together at some point, and you have to make sure that it all works. Let me see, I think that we're kind of lagging right now. I don't know why. Hang on. Let's see, is this the one? Okay, that's it. Yes, okay. Thanks, Fee. I'm glad that you like it. Okay, so let's see. Yes, you all can see the map right now. Okay, I don't know what went wrong, but at least you can all see it right now, so that's a good thing. Yes, you're excited to see the map process. Okay, well, let's get into it. Like I said earlier, and let's see if I can show it better to you guys. I have made a sketch, and I mean, my map making skills are kind of non-existent, so I will work on that. But as you can see, I will move the map along because I didn't quite get it to work yet the way I want it with the live stream, so that's something I need to look into. Anyways, as you can see here, I put the compass, and maybe you can see that. Let's see. Can you see it? Yeah, that way. It's upside down because when I started making this map, I just started to draw, and I was like, "Oh, that's good. That looks nice." And then at some point, I realized, okay, it looks nice. It looks fun. It looks workable for me. But it's not the way it's supposed to be. Because what I had in mind originally is that now I have to look right. Dragon City is northeast from the kingdom of Silk and Bamboo. And where did I draw it? Originally, yeah, not northeast. So I decided, okay, I need to turn the map around, and that makes things different. And what I also realized was that a majority of external activities, so ships coming into the kingdom and things like that, are all on this side, on the what is now the east side, instead of the west side, because at some point I decided, okay, the west side, the new west side, is not for ships. It's not a logical place where ships will be, which in the end also makes it a very safe place for turtles to be released, because that way they won't get into the busy happenings of ships all sailing through. But with that, as you can see, I started here. I started here drawing on this side of the map and going along that way, and then I realized that this wasn't handy for me. And I needed more space for the other islands, the islands that are supposed to be on this side, on the east side. So at that point I decided, okay, I'm going to redraw the map, and I'm going to make it bigger, or I'm going to make the drawing area bigger, because that is something I really need. And then rearrange things, and also make the turtle island. Can you see that? Yeah, it's okay. It's upside down. Let me put it. Turtle Island. The Turtle Island is the main island, and that needs to be a little bit different than what it is right now, and I will explain that when I talk about the lore. So that is the process of why this map isn't finished yet. There's still a lot to do, but it's fun. And granted, sometimes you really need to check things, and you need to think about things on how it can be done far more logical. But that's okay. That's all part of the writing process and part of the world building process, and it's something I really like. So let me guys tell you a bit about the lore of the archipelago that the kingdom of Setenondu is. Oh, Fia said Turtle Island is a cute name. Yeah, thank you. And you will hear soon why it is called Turtle Island. So the lore about this island, about this kingdom, or this archipelago, better said. And the kingdom, it's about both. The origin history, or the origin legend or myth, is that there were a people who were fleeing from a country that was razed by a terrible fire. They were not sure why that fire razed their country, but yeah, it was devastated. There was nothing. There were no fertile grounds anymore. Everything was destroyed. So they thought that it might have been mages, but at the same time, it was also a time of great storms with lots of lightning. So, and also lots of lightning hitting the grounds. So they weren't quite sure. Luckily, this nation was this kingdom, the people, were a people that were also seafaring. It was a country. They lived in a country that was along the coast, So they were also a seafaring nation, so they had a lot of ships. Luckily, because they really had to flee the country, and they fled with the ships. And at some point they got into storms and things like that. And then they encountered a group of sea turtles, but not just any sea turtles. These were the giant sea turtles. Think like the ancient Archelon turtle, that is, as far as I know, the biggest turtle that has ever lived here in our own history on Earth. And it was huge. It was really big. But these sea turtles in Tergaenae were even bigger. They were so big that they could hold lots of people on their back. And they didn't know those people. But all their encounters with other people were always basically good. So they decided, seeing that these people were in need and were in trouble, they decided to help them look for a location where they could relocate to and live again. So that's how their journey continued. And at some point, these giant turtles found a more shallow water, and there was already land forming there because of volcanoes that were there. So below the water, there was already land, but you could live on it after all. And at some point, the turtles knew that. I mean, they had been there, and that wasn't the problem for themselves. But of course, these people couldn't live there. Okay, my screen went to sleep almost. So they were looking for a similar location for these people. Okay, just a little break. Catching up with chat. Tish, you say you do have a subplot, and for now you don't have a problem with extra storylines. You write as though you were watching a movie, and haven't tried just writing a scene and come back to it. It has to be in order. Okay, but your subplot always involves the MC, at least that's how A Cozy Mystery works. Ah, okay, that way. Okay, I had no idea that it works like that. But I can see that. I can see that. That works in a good way. And you love the map. Oh, thank you. Well, it's going to be changed, but a lot of it will be incorporated in some way or another. So like I said, they knew about more shallow locations, but they hadn't realized, or they didn't have a certain location that would be easy for people to live. Until they ran across a volcano that was, in hindsight, dying, and it was the last burst of the volcano. And that's not easy, such a last burst. Or at least in Tergaenae, it's not easy. I have no idea how it is here on Earth. But, Tergaenae is a completely fantasy world, and in my world, okay, things can be done. These turtles have some innate magic, and they are in tune with nature, so they also could, well, I won't say they would know when the volcano would die, but they were in tune with things like that, so they were able to guess. And at some point, they found that location, and they thought the volcano was not asleep, but it had died. And there was already land above the waters, so the people could start living there. And then the ground started to rumble again. The turtles knew that something was up. The volcano wasn't dead yet. It hadn't died. And one of the turtles, the biggest one, the matriarch, decided to save the peoples, because she had built a little bit of a relationship with a few of the people, and she respected them and appreciated them for everything they had already done for her and the other turtles. So, and she was also herself in the later stages of her life, and her offspring, her kids and grandkids were living a good life. So she decided to sacrifice herself and close the volcano. And it was truly the last eruption of the volcano. And even though that is in essence sad, she gave her life. But it was close to her own end, and she knew that she knew that she didn't have that much longer to live. And she decided to sacrifice herself. And that is how Turtle Island came to be, because she sacrificed herself. Part of her shell was destroyed by the last eruption of the volcano, but most of it was saved, and lots of ground and things like that were in the end came down on her shell. So it's that's how that island came to be. And you can still, in the form of the island, you can still see her fins and her head and things like that. And I tried to draw that, but yeah, see that? Yeah, like that. But it's not quite how I wanted it to be, so I'm going to change that. And what you see in this archipelago is that Turtle Island, it is the biggest island, and it has nooks and crannies and cliffs and valleys, but it also has these safe areas like you can see. Oh, can you guys see that? Yeah, like you can see here, this is more of a safe area, and this too. And what I'm going to do in the final map is that I'm going to bring this fin more forward, and that fin as well, because she was more in a protective stage, whatever you want to call it. I can't get to the name. Posture, that was what I was looking for. So she had spread her fins more to the front, and her back fins are more, can you see that? Yeah, her back fins will be more like that. So there are safe sanctuaries for the baby turtles, and there are lots of them. So that way they can grow and they can be safe before they are released. And where the hat has been, her head, there's the capital here. So that's something I will change as well. Well, it's still there, but the whole form of the island is going to be a little bit better. And what you also see is that there is more coral around it, and the coral in combination with the islands really shapes the form of the turtle if you see it from above. And also map makers have made maps of the island, and not only of this island, because there are a lot more islands in this archipelago. But this is the biggest island, the main island, and that is why it is called Turtle Island. That is the myth, the creation myth of this archipelago. And one of the things that also happened is that thousands of years ago, with the Big Divide, when magic ran rampant, the deities eventually lifted up islands, and and they I totally forgot to set the timer. My apologies for that. They lifted up the islands so that the people living on those islands would be more safe. So they also brought the archipelago of the kingdom of Silk and Bamboo. They brought it up, so more of the islands that were either still underwater or were partially submerged were now above water, so that meant that more people could spread out and could live on the other islands, which is a good thing for such a kingdom, because the kingdom of Silk and Bamboo is also a trading kingdom. They were already a seafaring nation, and with their location on the ring of the islands, the ring of the many islands is what I called the equator there. I have no idea yet how that will be later on in the future. We'll see about that. But like I said, they were a seafaring nation, and with their location on the ring of the many islands, they had an ideal continuation of their trades, of their seafaring, which is a good thing. And that also meant that it attracted more people during the centuries and millennia. So right now there are a lot of people living in the kingdom and on various islands, big and small, of this archipelago. It's really, there are really several really large islands, like the Turtle Islands, and then there are also many small islands surrounding the big islands. And one thing that is also crucial is that the Turtle Islands and a few other bigger islands are protected by a coral reef. And it is in a way like Bora Bora here on Earth. Bora Bora is also protected by coral reef. It's incredible. I saw that, and at first I thought it was I saw a photo of it, I should say, and at first I thought it was it wasn't real until I learned that it was actually real. So yeah, that is what made me think that if we can have that here on Earth, totally natural, why can't I have that in Tergaenae? So Tergaenae now has such similar functions, and this coral reef is really protecting the big islands, and also protecting the sanctuaries for the turtles and the safe release areas for the turtles. So that's a good thing, and that's all in there. Oh, Tisha, you also say you love the map. Thank you very much. Fifi, you love the dips and protrusion archipelagos are always more interesting than just a large mass of Earth. Yeah, you're right about that. And it is one of the things that attracted me to this particular kingdom. There are so many things that you can do with an archipelago. And Dragon City is an entirely different kingdom. It's a city-state. It is on a continent, but the continent it's not a huge continent like America. It's more like what did I have in mind? I think it was more like France and part of Italy and the Netherlands and Belgium taken together. And that's about it. That's about the size of Nature One. Nature One is the continent where Dragon City is on. I have many smaller continents instead of a few big continents in Tergaenae, because it makes for way more interesting natural things and way more interesting possibilities to have multiple cultures and to have really different cultures and different peoples living in the world. And yes, archipelagos are just so much fun to work with. And that's what I do with the kingdom of Silk and Bamboo. I see that we're already 1 hour into the live stream, and I noticed that I'm starting to get tired. So I showed you guys the original map, and I explained what's going to change. But I noticed that I'm really starting to feel tired. So what I'm gonna do, like I said in the intro, on Saturdays we also have streams, so that's tomorrow, same time, same place, and I will show you more of the new map of what I'm making, and hopefully that will make a lot more sense then. So yeah, this is one of my progressions for this month is that I now know better how I want this particular archipelago to be. And I've written a little bit, although I'm not really happy with it, but that will come in the future. I might write something more later this evening or tomorrow. I don't know yet. I might just completely rewrite what I have written just now because I don't know. I won't say that I'm going to throw it away, but let's just say that a character popped up that I didn't know about, and she might start troubles that I hadn't counted on yet. So I just might do it differently and just throw it out for a while. So I hope this hour was good for you guys, and that you had a lot of fun writing with your own processes. And tomorrow, at again 1 p.m. Central European time, so the same time as today, we will have another live stream with again writing sprints to start with, and yeah, I will be map making tomorrow again. And see how that goes. See if I can make it better than what it is right now, because it needs a lot more. But that's okay. So thank you all for coming. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow again. And for now, I wish you a wonderful Golden Quill Month, and I wish you a lot of fun with your writing projects. Fifi, you say nice, thank you for the stream, and nice to start the Golden Quill Month with the stream. Thank you. yeah, it's so nice to do that, and it's nice to be back in the streams again. And Tisha, say have a good evening and days. Thank you very much. I wish you a good wonderful day too. It's good to be back, and we'll see how the live streams will continue this month. And Tisha, say see you tomorrow and you enjoyed the map. Thank you very much. Thank you. I wish you all a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.